Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. I'm JP and welcome to Good Talk HQ. I hope you had an awesome holiday if you celebrated, stuffed yourselves full of food, and then took a nice nap. To the moms out there, thank you, you're wonderful people. We appreciate the hard work even if we don't always show it. Give me a thumbs up down below if you like food, family and friends, and of course, some good old gaming here on our favorite hybrid console, the Nintendo Switch. To the extended family, welcome back my friends. Thanks as always for rocking with us again one more time. Today, as promised, is the next part of the Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals here on the channel. I'll have a link down below to part 1 of the deals. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out as we covered games in that mid-range between $5 and $10. In my opinion, that might be the best price range for deals this holiday season thus far. Now in today's episode, we'll cover some of the amazing deals that you can pick up for less than $5, and tomorrow we'll have the next part of the series as again there's just too many games for one video. Stay tuned as we still have to do this month's giveaway as well. That should be in the next video or two, so keep an eye open for that. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to join our wonderful group of game fanatics and deal seekers here at the channel. We'd love to welcome you, plus it will enter you for the giveaway that we do for the free eShop gift cards at the end of each month. All you have to do is be sub to the channel and leave us a comment down below so we could find your name and put you on the list. And with all that said, as always, stay safe out there and please enjoy part 2 of the Black Friday sales coverage. Let's start off with American Fugitive. This is a single-player action title from Curve Digital that offers a main story that will last roughly 10 to 15 hours to wrap up. This is a great game and basically a top-down GTA with a beautiful 3D world. It's a modern take on the classic sandbox-style game featuring destructible environments, epic car chases, and a massive open world inspired by the 80s, and a great story about crime and corruption. Now just like with GTA, the story kind of plays a backseat to the exploration and side quest oftentimes, but that only adds to the value in my opinion. If you're interested in American Fugitive, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on December 15th. It's marked down 90% to an all-time low of just $199. Next we have the Arcade Classics Anniversary Collection. This is a collection of several games from Konami Digital Entertainment that offers local multiplayer for 2 players with a download size under 300 megabytes. In the bundle you get 8 classic games ranging from puzzle games to shoot 'em ups and even an arcade version of Castlevania, which is what hooked many of the longtime fans in so many years ago. One of my all-time favorite games, Thundercross, is here as well, and it's one of the most iconic shoot 'em ups of all time. With the added options to make things a bit more convenient, this is a must-buy in my opinion, and if you agree you can pick it up until December 1st, marked down 75% to just $499, matching an all-time low. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is a single-player 2D action platformer from NT Creates and offers roughly 5 to 10 hours of main story gameplay. Players will have to explore dark lands and slay tons of demons in pursuit of the most powerful demon, who is lurking inside of a dark castle. The game allows us to play as multiple different characters along the way, and each of them are unique enough to keep the game feeling fun and fresh. Now depending on the party you create, it can actually affect the story and the ending as well. Both games are currently on sale, and they offer amazing retro gameplay, and if you're interested in the first title, make sure to pick it up before December 1st. It's marked down 50% to an all-time low of just $499. Blaster Master 02 is another single-player action platformer again from NT Creates and offers around 10 hours of main story gameplay. These games are hybrids of side-scrolling and top-down action, and this time around the story is even bigger than before. Shortly after the events of the first game, Jason and Eve set out on another adventure into the depths of space, this time armed with their brand new battle tank and all new abilities. It really is just a continuation of great things from the first game, and you really should play the first one. They're both on sale, but the story does rely heavily on you knowing the first. Now you can pick them both up until December 1st, marked down half price to just $499, which is an all-time low. Next we have Broforce. This is a 2D run-and-gun shooter with gorgeous 16-bit retro graphics from publisher Devolver Digital and features both local and online multiplayer action as well. This is a love letter to classic action cinema from the 80s and has a simple premise. Each level you're tasked with blasting your way through challenging but fair obstacles and baddies as you make your way to the chopper at the end of the level. Now the stages themselves are nearly fully destructible and add a unique level of freedom to how you complete each mission. I also like that they included a level editor so you can make your own levels and then share them online for others to enjoy. If you're interested in Broforce, be sure to grab it up before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 75% to an all-time low of just $374. Next we have the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. This is a classic collection containing 8 games plus some bonus goodies from Konami, and this time the games are all single player titles. Now these are some of the most famous and infamous games in history. It was introduced as part of the Konami 50th anniversary celebration and features the first several games in the franchise that has always been a fan favorite. This is a perfect way for newcomers to jump into the games from the beginning, and for longtime fans, as it's a great collection to feed that nostalgic feeling from days past. The inclusion of the ebook with a bunch of lore and art is a cherry on top. If you're interested in the collection, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 75% to an all-time low of just $4.99. The Contra Anniversary Collection is also on sale until December 1st at 75% off, again for just $4.99. And this is another amazing package of games, this time with 10 to pick from, with multiplayer action for 2 players as well. Of course, most of us know Contra to be one of the most amazing games from the arcades and early home console days, and no question they're absolute rage quitters for sure. But again, this collection is another must-buy when you can find it on sale, and again, this is a great way for modern gamers to hop into one of the gaming's most iconic franchises. Make sure to grab it up, again it's on sale for just $4.99 until December 1st. Duke Nukem 3D World Tour is an old school shooter from Gearbox Software with the main campaign that should last roughly 10 to 12 hours to wrap up. Now this is a collection of all 4 previous chapters as well as the all new 5th chapter that was created by the same team that made the original game. The Switch version has enhanced features like gyroscopic aiming, motion controls, HD rumble, and more. Plus the game has online deathmatch as well, making this a great game for both fans of solo games as well as those looking for some online PvP. This is one of the first games we ever covered on the channel, and we love it. Highly recommended as it's currently on sale for 75% off to a new all-time low of just $2.49 until December 1st. Next we have Far Lone Sails. This is a single-player adventure platform from Mixed Vision and offers roughly 3 hours of main story gameplay. Now this is an absolutely beautiful game on the Switch and has amazing art and animations, plus the music really helps to set the atmosphere as you really do start to feel alone with just you and your trusty machine to get across this vast nothingness. Our journey takes us across a dried out seabed where we have to learn to maintain and repair the massive vessel that we're traveling in. Again, this game is all about atmosphere and story. If you're interested in Far Lone Sails, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 75% to an all-time low of just $3.74. Next we have Gunman Clive, the HD Collection. This is a package of 2 single-player 3DS indie titles from Horberg Productions, and they have quickly become one of our favorite indie developers. Now this one takes place in the Wild West, and the streets have been overrun with outlaws. One particular group of bandits has kidnapped the mayor's daughter, and it's our job to save her and put an end to the crime going on in town. These are old school side-scrolling platformers, and they feature some of the coolest boss battles in any game. If you liked Mechtermination Force or Super Punch Patrol, give this one a shot as it's another great game to add to the collection. Great job once again from the developer, and it's on sale until December 1st, marked down 60% to an all-time low of just $1.99. Next up we have Hob, the Definitive Edition. This is a single-player 3D action platformer from Runic Games with the main story that should take players roughly 10 to 15 hours to complete. The gameplay is very similar to Zelda titles and features a story with pretty much no dialogue whatsoever. Now the original version was apparently really hard to navigate, but this version on the Switch has been improved with better menus and a more guided story so players will remain engaged. You explore and solve puzzles in each area in order to progress to the next. This causes the world to begin to shift and change, and it's so fun to watch. If you're interested in Hob, the Definitive Edition, we did a gameplay spotlight recently and it's on sale until December 1st, marked down 85% to an all-time low of just $2.99. Horizon Chase Turbo is a fast-paced arcade racer, available for 1 to 4 players in local co-op, and has a main story that should last more than 15 hours to wrap up. But of course the game is mostly about the multiplayer for many people, and this one excels in that area. It was inspired by the great racing games from the 80s and 90s with bright retro graphics, excellent audio both in the soundtrack and the game sounds. Featuring World Tour for the longer play sessions or tournaments for shorter ones, and an ever-changing playground mode that updates regularly, there's something for every fan here, and it's a great value. Right now you can pick up Horizon Chase Turbo for 75% off, marked down to just $4.99 and all-time low until December 1st. Inside is a single-player puzzle-style adventure game from publisher Playdead, and while the story will only last a couple of playthroughs at maybe 3 or 4 hours, this is an absolute must-buy. Now you start off like many of the other games in this style, alone and with no rhyme or reason as to why you're in your current situation. Hunted and alone, you play as a young boy who finds himself on the run from a dark experiment with human subjects. The gameplay is like Little Nightmares, where you'll move along a 2D plane and interact with different objects to manipulate your surroundings. Now the final act is unbelievable and I don't want to spoil it. Make sure to grab this one up before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 90% to an all-time low of just $199. Next up we have Moon Hunters. This is a party style RPG from Kit Fox Games with a main story that should last around 6 or 7 hours to wrap up. The game is available for up to 4 players in local co-op and allows the player to create their own legend. The game world is different every time you play, but it's always infested with monsters and other baddies all trying to eat you. When the moon fails to rise, we set out either solo or with some friends to uncover the reason why. With limited time before an invading army takes over, we have no choice but to hurry. Now this version also includes all of the DLC as well. If you're interested in Moon Hunters, be sure to pick it up before the sale ends again on December 1st. It's marked down 87% to an all-time low of just $199. Next we have NAMCO Museum Archives Volume 1. This is another collection of classic games from Bandai Namco and again offers multiplayer action for 2 players. Now with this one you actually get 11 games, some of which were never released here in the West, plus an all-new game that premiered with the release of this collection. Again, this one has updated mechanics and quality of life features that make it much more accessible for gamers of any age or generation. In fact, it has Pac-Man, which was originally why I bought it for Little Man, and then of course the underground fan favorite Splatterhouse, along with many other great titles. If you're interested, be sure to grab it up before the sale ends. Both 1 and 2 are marked down 75% to all-time lows of just $4.99. OkunoKA Madness is a single-player arcade-style platformer from Ignition Publishing and offers hours and hours of action due to the arcade mechanics of the game. The art and animations are amazing and there's tons of secret content to unlock as well, making this a great value when on sale. Now this is another one of those ultra-challenging platformers, so be prepared to find your happy place if things get a bit too frustrating. There are over 100 levels and different game modes including speedrun options, plus you can even unlock new playable characters as well. If you like Super Meat Boy or any of the many different games like it that have come since, this is a solid option and currently on sale until December 1st, marked down 80% to an all-time low of just $2.99. Rad is a single-player 3D action-adventure game from Bandai Namco Entertainment with a main story that should last roughly 7 to 8 hours, but there's a lot of replayability, so you'll probably get way more than that from the game. This one's set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity has faced Armageddon twice, and we play as a young protagonist forced to venture out into the unforgiving and ever-changing radioactive world. This of course can wreak havoc on the fragile human form, and this is the game's most unique feature. You can mutate into any number of hideous Frankenstein-type monsters as the toxins wreak havoc on your body. You'll become perhaps a bit less attractive, but far more powerful. This is a truly wild game and worth checking out while on sale until December 1st, marked down 75% to an all-time low of just $4.99. Next up we have Ruiner. This is a single-player action-adventure title from Devolver Digital that can take more than 10 hours to complete. Now Ruiner is a brutal action shooter set in the distant future, played from a top-down view. The game has the same fast-paced action and intense moments as something like Hotline Miami, only with a beautiful 3D environment. The game also has a specially crafted soundtrack that for some is enough to justify the purchase alone. If you're interested in Ruiner, make sure to grab it up again before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 75% to an all-time low of just $4.99. Next we have Skulls of the Shogun, Bone-A-Fide Edition. This is a fast-paced turn-based strategy game sort of fused with a fighting game from Golem Entertainment and offers unlimited hours of fun as it has both local and online multiplayer options for up to 4 players. The game also has 24 action-packed levels, different playable characters, beautiful hand-drawn art and animations, and an amazing soundtrack as well. Plus the story is loaded with humor throughout and definitely entertaining. The main draw of the game though will be the multiplayer, and if you're interested in this one, make sure to check it out again before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 80% to an all-time low of just $3.99. The Flame in the Flood Complete Edition is a single-player adventure game with a pixelated aesthetic and a transformative soundtrack. Published by Curve Digital, this game offers a main story that will last more than 15 hours. In this one, you travel both on foot and by raft as a young girl with her canine pal down a procedurally generated river. Players will need to gather materials, craft tools, and keep themselves in good health in the harsh wilderness. You also have to learn to deal with the wildlife as well, as not all animals that you come across will be friendly. The Switch version features all of the enhancements that were made over time, and the game is definitely worth checking out while on sale until December 15th, marked down 80% to an all-time low of just $2.99. Next we have Trine 2 The Complete Story. This is a magical puzzle platformer from Frozen Byte Entertainment and available for 3 players in both local and online multiplayer. This is a direct continuation of the story from the original and features 20 plus amazing levels full of awesome physics-based puzzles to solve. There are 3 playable characters, of course the wizard, the knight, and the thief all make their return and each offer a unique feel to how they play. With more than 12 hours of main story gameplay plus the online multiplayer, this is a great option when on sale, and right now you can get it at an all-time low until December 1st, marked down 75% to just $424, and it's another one we highlighted here recently on the channel. Atomic Heist. This is a single-player arcade-style shooter from Dragus Games and part of their secret sale. The game has a download size of roughly 400 megabytes and offers hours and hours of fun as you try to beat your last run. The game is shown from a top-down view and features amazingly smooth gameplay, easy to pick up controls, and an awesome soundtrack to keep you pushing through the procedurally generated levels. There are upgrades and power-ups that you can find, and there's even a few different game modes as well. Plus, if you own any of the developer's other games, you can get this for less than $1. Otherwise, it's on sale until November 29th, marked down 75% to just $199. Next we have Binarystar Infinity. This is a 1-bit shoot 'em up from Forever Entertainment, available for 1 or 2 players in local co-op, and will take players roughly 2 to 3 hours to finish up. The game has 8 exciting missions, each culminating in a unique and challenging boss battle at the end. The most unique feature though is the ability to play in either horizontal or vertical modes on the fly. This mechanic is so much fun to mess around with, and it was incorporated flawlessly. The color scheme really pops here on the Switch, so once again I bet this is a game that looks amazing on the OLED. If you're interested in Binarystar Infinity, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on December 9th. It's marked down 50% to an all-time low of just $249. Next we have Conarium. This is a single-player adventure game with stunning visuals from Iceberg Interactive. The game has a download size of around 4 gigabytes and a main story that should last 3 or 4 hours to wrap up. We play as a man named Frank, and we've lost all of our memories, so we have to investigate a giant base in Antarctica to try to uncover what happened. The graphics, as I said, are gorgeous, and the soundtrack adds a level of immersion to the gameplay as well. Plus, the different puzzles you encounter or the riddles that you'll need to solve to progress all make sense, so you shouldn't get lost or stuck too often. If you're a fan of Lovecraftian lore, or this game looks interesting to you, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 75% to an all-time low of just $499. Death Tales is a dark and whimsical 2D action platformer from Arcade Distillery and offers roughly 5 hours of main story gameplay. The download size is around 800 megabytes and it offers local co-op for 2 players as well. In this one, players will embark on an adventure to collect equipment and spells, learn powerful attacks, and fight off hordes of enemies. There are more than 25 amazing levels that have been designed beautifully, loads of side quests, and even a shop that changes daily where you'll be able to spend the souls that you collect along the way. The game also has daily bounties as well, where you'll be able to hunt down some amazing bosses. As I mentioned, the entire game can be solo, or you can team up with 2 players for multiplayer action as well. If you're interested in Death Tales, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on December 6th. It's marked down 80% to an all-time low of just $199. Next we have Dwarf Journey. This is a single-player 2D platformer with a retro look and sound from Orub Game Studio and offers roughly 4 to 5 hours of main story gameplay. The download size is around 300 megabytes and the main story centers around a warrior seeking a powerful artifact in a mystical cave that will grant him eternal life. Now this is an action platformer with new challenges every time you play, as the levels are procedurally generated. As you defeat the enemies and bosses, you'll earn experience to level up and open up new paths that you can then explore. The boss battles are pretty tough and a lot of fun, but with the level design, sometimes you'll run into them a little bit too early and just get stomped. If you're looking for a solid platformer, make sure to check this out before the sale ends on December 7th. It's marked down 60% to an all-time low of just $319. Next up, we have Golazo. This is a wild sports title coming to us from Purple Tree and offers unlimited hours of local couch co-op for up to 4 players. The download size is roughly 1.1 gigs. Now Golazo is a no-holds-barred, no-rules, all-out chaotic football game with more than 50 different teams to choose from. Plus, the game has some custom visual options that give you that true retro arcade feel from decades past. There are a couple different game modes as well, plus optional power-ups to add some mayhem into the action. If you like old-school classics like Goal from the 8-bit days, I think this might just give you that nostalgic feeling. If you think this is for you, make sure you grab it up before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 73% to an all-time low of just $399. Next up we have Grood. This is a single-player 2D shooter that comes to us from Dragus Games and again is part of their secret sale that we discussed before, so make sure to check out the eShop for exact pricing as it can vary depending on whether or not you purchased any of their other games. In Grood, your mission is to annihilate an army of robotic enemies and bosses, all while avoiding a storm of bullets, missiles, and lasers. The game features classic arcade-style gameplay with awesome retro graphics and a heavy metal soundtrack. Plus there's a day and night cycle with dynamic weather, and there's even multiple final bosses depending on how the story plays out during your playthrough. If you're interested in this one, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on November 30th. It's marked down 60% to an all-time low of just $1.99. But remember again, it's part of the secret sale as low as 9 cents. Next we have Hard West. This is a single-player adventure RPG from Forever Entertainment with the main story that should last players roughly 20 to 30 hours to wrap up and a download size of around 5.5 gigabytes. The game features a unique open world set in the Wild West, compelling turn-based squad combat with a wide array of weapons and upgrades, a story that is affected by your decisions throughout, oh yeah, and there's magic as well. See, this version of the Old West has magic, cults, and spells to go along with the standard weaponry. One really cool feature is the ability to ricochet bullets around obstacles by shooting at something metal. If you're interested in Hard West, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on December 9th. It's marked down 90% to an all-time low of just $1.99. Next we have Monument. This is a single-player FPS adventure game from D Games that will last roughly 5 to 10 hours to wrap up. The download size is around 2 gigabytes and it features that old-school classic hardcore gameplay that you remember. Huge hordes of enemies and monsters to blast your way through with a vast assortment of firepower to do so with. Really the only goal of the game is to send all of the evil spirits to the grave. The game looks and runs great on the Switch and really does feel great to play. The animations are smooth and the music is amazing as well. Now it's definitely a dark game, but if you're looking for a solid FPS, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on November 29th. It's currently marked down 72% to an all-time low of just $1.99. Necrosphere Deluxe is a single-player 2D action platformer that could potentially cause you to throw your Switch right out the window. The game was published by Unties and has a download size around 215 megabytes and a main story that should last roughly 3 or 4 hours to wrap up. The game is about the place that you go when you die and sees us on a quest to find a secret portal back to the world of the living. The world is basically a giant maze and requires even more precise timing and movement than games like Celeste, but offers pure gameplay without any of the fluff or filler. There's even a hidden stage if you collect the right items to unlock it. If you like truly brutal games, make sure to check out Necrosphere Deluxe before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 50% to an all-time low of just $3.99. Alright folks, thanks as always for sticking it out until the end. Once again, you know you're legendary. We appreciate you sticking with us, and again, if you're new to the channel, I want to say thanks again for giving us a chance today, and hopefully you had a good time. Remember, if you'd like to enter into this month's giveaway, there's still time. All you have to do is be subbed to the channel, hit the like button, and leave us a comment down below so we can add your name to the current list. Keep an eye out as well, as we should have the winner announcement here in the coming days. There's more sales to cover, so stay tuned. Much love to the extended family. I still can't believe we've grown to over 5,100 members here at the channel. You all are amazing. Thank you so much. Alright, stay safe out there, my friends. As always, we'll let Little Man take us home. Bye, everyone.
That's all for today's list. We hope you liked the video. If you did, consider subscribing and liking down below. Okay, bye!